Hello, and welcome to the Fuel Accelerator podcast. This is a special edition of the Startup Junkie podcast, where we will be highlighting multiple of our participants for the current AI and machine learning Fuel Accelerator cohort. My name is Grace Gill. I'm the Fuel Accelerator Director, and I'm really excited to be joined today with Amit Hasak, CEO of Transship. Amit, how are you doing today?
Could not be better. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to participate, and I love this program.
Absolutely. Well, we're really excited. It's been a joy to get to know you. But for our audience here, how about you give us a little bit of your origin story?
Sure.
How did you get to where you're at now, and what are you doing with Transship?
Okay. I'm a supply chain logistics guy. I owned and operated a cold storage warehouse in Chicago for about 25 years. And as a cold storage operator, we're basically an extension of our customers' business. We're holding their inventory for them. So my customers, who were mostly exporters of perishable goods like beef, pork, and poultry, they'd bring us truckloads of product and we'd store it in this massive warehouse. And then they would tell us, hey, we want to ship, say, 80 containers to China or to Singapore or Malaysia or wherever they want to go. And then we, as a warehouse, would work with the USDA to prepare it for export, which means stamping, labeling it, and we'd actually physically load the container that was backed into our dock. Once that container was loaded, it was pulled from our dock, and my job, or our job as a cold storage, was done. But that's when all the fun started. All my customers would call me and complain to me about how terrible the shipping process was, unreliable, inefficient, expensive. And I basically asked them, why are you telling me this? I'm the cold storage guy. I don't do shipping. And they told us, well, we can't go yell at the big ocean carriers, and so we got to yell at someone, so we're going to yell at you. And I'm like, all right, let me have it. And then after a few times of getting hammered, I basically started looking into the whole shipping and saying, like, what are they complaining? Just out of curiosity. And lo and behold, they had a legitimate gripe. This industry is absolutely horrific. It's expensive, everything they told me, unreliable, inefficient. And so I decided to embark on a journey, and I shut down the cold storage warehouse. I'm a businessman. I do not code or develop anything, but I saw an opportunity here, and I shut down the cold storage, and I had an idea at the time, and I formulated that idea into a platform, into an operating MVP, and I'm talking, I incorporated in 2017, I launched in May of 2020, right in the heart of the pandemic. People are like, are you crazy? Like, people are dying, economies are failing. But the one thing that stuck out to me was the mass resignation back in the day. People who had been in their jobs for a long time said, I'm going to die from COVID anyways in like a week, so I'm out of here. And I figured that companies are reassessing the way they're shipping, and I was right, and that's how we got our first customers, and we've grown ever since.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us more about the technology of Transship and who you are serving today.
Yeah. So, shippers have never been empowered. It's always been about the provider or the vendor, like the ocean carriers or even the freight forwarders in my industry. And my mission was to empower shippers. And the way we empower shippers is by, one, giving them really good rates, because we're not manually operated. We're all about API connectivity, data analytics, AI, to really improve the whole experience of shipping and get them the information that they want, the rates that they want, and the bookings that they want. And we do it almost immediately compared to having to wait 4 days or up to weeks or longer with traditional freight forwarders. And we're giving them the ability to view their shipment in real time, and not just GPS. Because of my background, we ship a lot of perishables. So we monitor GPS, every event that takes place from the moment that container's pulled until it reaches the final port. They'll know when it's been in-gated, onboarded. We actually factor in times of departure and arrival. They take into account any weather delays or port congestion. Yeah. So their customer can even manage their inventory, because all the information we provide them on the tracking, they can share with their customer. So we monitor temperature and humidity inside the container, and motion and tampering sensors. Motion meaning if anybody's driving erratically, causing product to shift and damage, and tampering if anybody wants to open up the container and steal some product. We monitor all that. And our technology is just basically connecting via API to as many vendors as possible. And again, trying to make the process easier, more efficient, less stressful, less frustrating, and much more transparent.
Yeah, absolutely. So clearly this is a huge help for those shippers that are needing this data. But just in general, for folks who may not be in the supply chain industry, what is the importance of supply chain visibility? There's tons of supply chain technologies out there, and it seems like there's always more too. So what are the challenges and why is it important to have this type of visibility?
Yeah, that's a great question. So let me give you an analogy, right, that everybody deals with weekly or monthly. FedEx, right? You got a $5 FedEx parcel that you want to ship to someone else. Imagine if that person had no idea when it was in Memphis, when it was in their city, when it was heading to their office or their home, the time of arrival. That caused a lot of stress, right? I mean, it's like, where you sent me something and I haven't gotten it and I have no idea where it's at. Compound that like 200 times more when a shipper ships a container worth of goods, because they don't have a $5 parcel. They got hundreds of thousands of dollars of goods in there, and it's their right to know. It's their shipment. They got every right to know where it is and what is the status of it. Beyond that, there are tracking devices out there, but it's not about the tracking device. It goes beyond that. It's about the service in case something does go wrong. So you can give someone a tracking device and sell them a tracking device or selling them a tracking platform. But what happens if something goes wrong? Who's there to cover their back? And that's where Transship really comes in. We are a tech startup, but I believe that a lot of tech companies, including the big ones that we've all had the honor and privilege of sitting hours on the phone with, that doesn't happen with Transship. If something goes wrong, we had a situation outside of Port LA where we took proactive measures to prevent a $100,000 claim from happening. Somebody broke into the container. This is where we really earn our keep.
Yeah. It's really nice to hear that in an era where people feel like it's becoming less and less human involved.
Correct.
But the fact that startups can still stand out by having great service and by having good connections with people.
Right? Yeah, look, it's a big swing and miss in the tech industry and all, because, now you got AI coming in, right? So AI is going to potentially, maybe theoretically do that. But I think the human element is still a big part of what we're doing. How long will it be there? It could be there forever. And if we get AI that can resolve issues in real time, okay, then we'll approach that when it comes along. But right now, it's still a big part of our business, giving that customer service.
Yeah. So taking a little bit of a pivot, you are a bootstrap company.
Yes.
And a successful, growing bootstrap company. So for our entrepreneurial listeners, talk about that process, talk about the benefits, the challenges, and what you really see work for entrepreneurs who are thinking and trying to figure out if they should go down that fundraising route or not, and what that experience was like for you.
Bootstrapping a company is not easy. That's why most startups run to VCs right away, which is what we did initially also. Luckily, we were not funded. And I say that with a hand on my heart, because if you fundraise too early, you're giving away more of your company than maybe you should. Because you're basically coming and begging for money. But this is where age and experience are really undervalued in startup community. I mean, your prototypical startup founder is in their 20s, maybe up to their 40s, not above that. I don't fall in either of those categories. But the being able to know the good, the bad, and the ugly of business when you start a company, even if it's not a startup, is really beneficial. Yeah. So we do still own our domain. We haven't had any investors. I like to say that if you're a founder and you're not waking up at 3 a.m. with a cold sweat saying, what in the world am I doing? Or, self-doubt, or how I'm going to make payroll, you're not really a founder. This is not for everyone. Everybody knows about, the Airbnbs and the Googles and the, and the Facebooks of the world. 95% of startups do fail at some point. Mm-hmm. But without the risk-taking that founders take, the ingenuity, the invention that they create, I say that founders are delusional in a good way, not in a bad way. Mm-hmm. We see things that other people don't see, and it's on us to sell that to our potential customers and to the world and say, hey, this is a really good thing. It's going to make your lives better, or it's going to make something better some way or somehow. But I think that the bootstrapping, I believe, because this is my journey, is the way to go. I get it that it's not for everyone. I was in a different situation financially when I started than a 20-year-old who, maybe doesn't have savings or any money. But if you can bootstrap a company, I would strongly recommend that you do that. It comes with a big, heavy price tag. Yeah. A lot of stress. Cash crunch. There's a lot that goes along with it. But I think in the end of the day, when we fundraise, we'll be in a stronger position against the VCs than if we do it too early.
Yeah, absolutely. Super interesting. So then tell me, Amit, what brings you to Bentonville, Arkansas?
Oh, good question. Well, first thing, I'm a big-time swimmer, and you guys have a great pool here at Blake Street, which I use almost every day. But Fuel Accelerator Program is the reason I'm here. I got to tell you flat out, I live in Chicago. Arkansas was not on my to-do list. I came here for another event earlier in the year called VC Immersion. And when I landed, I was like, holy cow, this is Arkansas. We all have stereotypes. I'm from Chicago, so the stereotype is Al Capone and we're all killing each other. And every state has their own stereotype.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I'm blown away by this place. I cannot believe what I've seen. The people here are absolutely just nice. I walk around the streets at 10 o'clock, and in Chicago, I'm aware of my surroundings all the time. I'm not saying I'm scared, but you got to know what's going on. And here, I don't have that problem. You guys have a great program here. I didn't have any intention of doing another accelerator program. I'd done 2 before, but having spoken to you personally, you convinced me that this was a program, and I do not regret coming here.
Awesome. Yeah. And it's always interesting going through that process from very initial conversation, usually virtual Zooms. And I'm like, come to Arkansas. No, probably trust me. Just come, check it out, see what you think. And then as we go through the program, you've seen it kind of through the group too. Yeah. Now everyone's super excited about Bentonville and talking about how exciting it is. And
one guy bought a house.
And one guy bought a house, right?
I may not be far behind. I don't know if I'll be a full-time here, but once I leave, I think I'll be coming back here.
Yeah. And that's the exciting thing, is that there's just a lot of opportunity, and there's always ways that, you can continue getting involved with all the exciting stuff that's going on here.
I wholeheartely agree.
Yeah. Awesome. Then where is Transship going?
Transship is going to go global. We are currently in discussions with a gentleman in the Netherlands to license our platform, starting in the Netherlands, but entering the EU. We did a pilot shipment recently with an Israeli produce company for a SaaS, because we operate as a freight forwarder and as a SaaS. So freight forwarding means we have our contracted rates. A SaaS is for our tracking and tracing technology, which really I think is the future of our company. And one of our enterprise companies, UNFI, actually likes us so much that they recommended us to one of their customers in Malaysia. So we're going global. We have imported wine from Europe, so we got a little import going as well. We're right now, because we are bootstrapped and we are a small team. A big percentage of most of our shipments are from U.S. based, but now we're looking to expand globally. We endured the first half of the year, which was the uncertainty of the tariffs. Yeah. That was kind of tough. Volume went down globally, but since August, we've been knocking out of the ballpark. September was a record month for us, revenue-wise and profitability. October, November shaping up to really strong as well. So the world is our oyster. Yeah.
Well, it's been really exciting, even just to see the growth and everything since you've been here this fall. And I'd be curious to kind of hear then, now that you've done this process and you're growing a successful startup, you've gone through the ups and downs as you mentioned. If you could go back in a time machine and talk to your young self, what is the one piece of advice that you would give your young self?
Don't get too high in the highs and don't get too low in the lows. It's easier said than done, especially the highs and especially the lows. You encounter, this is a roller coaster ride. You should take everything in stride. If you fail, it doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means that this was not the idea that you should go on. And I would suggest any founder, if you fail at any point, don't get dejected. You can give yourself 24 hours to pity yourself, but pick yourself up and keep going, because this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. I'm a firm believer that if your heart's into it, if you have the perseverance, the drive, the stamina, the ambition, you'll get it done. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that it may be this startup. It may be another startup. Yeah. For me, it's a little bit different. I don't have another startup. This is my startup. This is where I'm going to do it, and I'm doing it.
Awesome. Well, then to wrap it up here, who should reach out to you, and then how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, great. Anybody who's a shipper, exporter, importer, or even a freight forwarder who lacks technology is welcome to reach out to us. We can definitely help you monetarily for any shippers, but definitely technology-wise for any freight forwarder or shipper. I mean, you can be a shipper and work with another freight forwarder. That's fine with us. But you can use our technology for the tracking purposes. And I can be reached, my email is Amit, A-M like Mary, I-T like Tom, at transship.net. That's TRANSSHIP.net. And my phone number is 847-702-9330, but don't prank call me.
Yep, putting out in the ether. Well, like I said, it's been a blast to have you in. We'll be sad to see you go. I know Blake Street will be sad. The pool will miss you.
I will be back. I'm not leaving. I will be back.
But you're always welcome in the community.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amit.
Yep, thank you.